Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show, live and unscripted. Are you ready to be red-pilled? Ready for some entertainment? Infotainment? Edutainment? Fasten your seatbelts. Put your hands together for the one, the only, Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Holy Joe Rock and Roll.
Hey everybody, this is Holy Joe Rock and Roll. I wanted to introduce you to Radio Hussar and ask you to hit that subscribe button on their channel, link down below. This is an interview I did with Radio Hussar just a few days ago, and it's on their channel, but they've allowed me to post it also on my channel. So take a listen, and I'll see you on the end.
I'm chatting with Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Hi Joe, how are you doing this morning?
Excellent. How about yourself?
I'm sick, I've got Ebola.
Oh, shit.
Let's not focus on that.
All right.
So you're a YouTuber and you're based here in Poland.
Yes.
You've been vlogging for a very long time. When did you get into vlogging?
I guess around 2010, I started putting up music videos, and then just videos around the country and different things. And then I think I started getting more politically active during the 2016 presidential campaign, when I started noticing, a lot of fake news basically, and started doing my own videos.
Yeah. So you're a big supporter of Donald Trump then?
I'm a supporter of Trump, yes.
Okay. And are there any particular policies that Trump has that you support?
Build the wall,
Okay.
and make America great again.
Okay. Should it be build the wall, deport them all? Or
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you're in a country illegally, you have no legal right to be there. I mean, I'm in Poland legally. I have a right to be here as long as they allow me, right? I mean, if government policy changes and I have to leave, I have to leave. But, you need to respect the laws of the country that you're in. So, and don't come in illegally. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the law. Enforce the law. It's really what I think most people are asking. Just enforce the law. The law says if you're in the country illegally, you can be deported, and you should be deported. End of story. So it's real simple for me.
yeah. And can you tell us about your musical career? I know that you've actually recorded, is it 4 albums of music?
Six albums. Six albums, yeah. It started out, whatever. It was just I took a creative writing and poetry class in the 8th grade, and I started writing poems. But I always thought that they would be songs. They could be songs, right? And in my mind, I had like this heavy metal, big drums kind of sound. But I could never play those. I could never play that, right? So I just used whatever instruments I could. And at first, it was using an Atari ST computer with a MIDI controller built in and some MIDI software, and I sequenced most of the music. I did have some help from the Reverend Chuck, who helped me do some of the music on the early albums, but the most recent albums have been just 100% my work, and I just use whatever technologies I have available. So.
Sure. And what has the response been online to your work? Are people downloading your music at high frequency?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't have the analytics for the music. That's right now. It's on holyjoe.bandcamp.com, where the all 6 CDs are available in high quality digital format. But in the past, where I've done a video for some of the songs, they've had some pretty good feedback. I mean, pretty good high levels of downloads. Yeah, pretty good.
Great. And do you ever perform?
I have performed in the past live, and some of those videos are like really some of the first videos online on my channel. But I have not performed live in a while. Not to say that I couldn't. It's just realistically, I'm more of a studio performer. But I could perform live again. I mean, like as I have in the past, but we'll see.
You're planning a national Polish tour? go to every large city and rock out?
Yeah. The tour basically was just to visit the cities and do a little video, my impressions, stuff like that. I don't have the infrastructure really to do a tour, but I mean, if I had it, if I had the backing, maybe it's possible.
If you're playing guitar in your bedroom, contact Holy Joe. If you're good.
I need a female vocalist. I would really need a female vocalist for some of the songs to really add, that little bit of impact. So that's what I've been looking for. Someone who could sing.
Are you looking for a soprano voice or?
Yeah, something like how Eminem did that song where he had, who did he have? That woman sing along.
Was it Rihanna?
I don't know if it was Rihanna or. I can't remember the song, but that kind of dichotomy where you have like rapper voice and then you have the female doing the chorus or something like that. Anyways, like for instance, All Aboard the Trump Train. There's the line "All aboard the Trump train," and I'm singing it in what do you call it? The soprano? Not soprano. The falsetto. But if a woman would sing that, I think it would really add it would add more impact, yes. Right? So anyway, that's. What it is.
You're definitely not castrati, right? Because you got 6 kids.
I do have 6 kids.
Wonderful.
And I have super sperm. I've been medically diagnosed as having super sperm. Highly mobile. I have a high level of testosterone. And, I don't want to know if we want to go on the Holy Joe Rock and Roll U.S. citizen plan, but that was an option. I was thinking about making money selling my sperm, but we put that on hold for now.
Great. The Radio Hussar team actually went to Warsaw to the march, and we were warned, especially in the media, that there were a lot of dangerous people at the march. And to be honest, the Radio Hussar team didn't see any violence, not one instance of violence at the march. What was your impression? We didn't meet up in Warsaw.
Right.
Did you see any violence or any destruction of property?
No. The only thing I did see that could be, let's say, even vaguely described as violence is, as I was close to the front of the march, and as we got to the bridge, just before the bridge, there was a counter demonstration on the left-hand side, and a couple of people threw flares at the counter protesters. That's it. And there's actually more riot police than there were protesters, because the riot police just immediately formed the wall with their shields, and that was it. I mean, that's the closest thing that you could say was violence, quote unquote, right? I commented on that because I did not have. I tried to go live, but there was no signal, so I did record and some comments on that. And I just thought it was, it wasn't necessary. People were chanting, something in Polish, like probably like, screw you or whatever, go away or something like that. But I can understand people's anger. And why would you, if you're Polish, why would you protest? It's like protesting the 4th of July. If you're an American, why would you protest the 4th of July? You're celebrating your Independence Day. It makes no sense. So I understand the emotional reason why you might throw a flare, these jerks, but yeah, whatever. It's unnecessary, that's all. But I didn't see any violence. I didn't see anybody getting hurt. There was no violence. There was absolutely no violence aside from that. A couple guys throwing flares.
Yes. For me, it's a stark contrast with what's happening in Paris at the moment with the Yellow Jacket movement. Again, obviously, people should have the right to protest against taxes. That's how America pretty much began.
That's right.
But do you have to destroy state property while going about your protests?
Yeah, I don't think so. At least not at this point. Maybe in France they have to. France is really. Especially the cities, probably, but the whole country seems to be under a lot of pressure from government policies which are not listening to the people, and that's a big problem.
So recently in the news, there's been the story of the comedian Kevin Hart, and he was selected to talk at the Oscars. Very quickly, the thought police went through every statement he had ever made on the internet, and they found statements, and they tarred and feathered Kevin Hart as being a homophobe, and very quickly he stepped down from deciding to speak at the Oscars, and he made a formal apology. we have a related story connected to you, right? You were working at a company based in Krakow, and basically they were promoting diversity and
It was during their they call it Tolerance Week.
Tolerance Week.
Tolerance Week.
Oh, that's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So can you let the audience know what
Yeah.
happened to you?
So, can you pass me that drink? Need a sip. Thanks, man. Thank you. Look at this beautiful. It's whatever. Anyway,
It's a beautiful latte.
latte. There you go.
Yeah.
Coffee latte. Spoon. Oh, sorry. So what happened was, this is during Tolerance Week at a major American tech company operating in Krakow, and all of these American companies now, I would say maybe for the last 2-3 years, it appears, and I don't have to name any names. You know the big companies, and we'll just throw some out, like the Googles, the Apples, the Cisco's, the Citrix, the did I say Amazons. All these companies appear to have signed up with this LGBT, pro-LGBT sort of policy. And what happened was, I kept getting these emails during Tolerance Week promoting LGBT lifestyle and basically promoting it, right? Propaganda. So I got a little bit irritated by getting these emails every day, especially in Poland, which is a Catholic country and probably the most tolerant country I've been in. Everybody is tolerant. Just it should be don't ask, don't tell, right? We're here to work. I don't need to know about your sexual proclivities or how much you're into buggery. I don't need to know that. Okay, so what happened was, I simply emailed, there was 2 women at the company who were responsible for sending out these emails every day. I just replied, and I said in one sentence, I said, "To be clear, does this mean that company supports sodomy?" ? And I sent that a couple days before the march. And then I went to the march over the weekend. On Monday, it was a day I took a day off, and I drove back to Krakow from Warsaw. And then on Tuesday, my manager pulled me into his office and said, "Why did you do that?" And I said, "What? Go to the march?" I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought maybe somebody found that I was at the march, and I don't know. I didn't know, right? And he said, "No, sodomy." And I said, "I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. Can I ask the question?" So my manager, he's Polish. He's been there 5 years. He seems like a good guy, but he's weak. They say a man has as many masters as he has vices, and his vice is money. He needs money. We all need money, okay? But the sodomites have other vices, and their masters. Who is their master? I would say Satan. Satan is their master, right? Because you're taking something that potentially produces life, which is fruitful, and you're making it not fruitful. That's what sodomy is, right? It's by definition. Okay, whether it's buggery or sex with animals or other kinds of sex acts which cannot lead to procreation, that's what it is. So I'm just asking, the fact that the company was continually putting out these emails promoting LGBT lifestyles, and why are they doing that? Do they support sodomy? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. So you essentially got fired for asking the question.
Yeah. So a couple days later, the next day, I guess, after when my manager pulled me in, he said that they want to fire you. I'm trying to save your job. You need to write an apology. So actually, looking back now, I probably would have wrote a totally different letter. I would have done a Blasey Ford apology, right, where I would have just made up a bunch of shit and suggested that I was a victim of sodomy as a small child, and that's why I was concerned about it, right? That would have been maybe a better letter to write. But instead, I didn't bend over backwards or anything. I just said, "Hey, listen, no pun intended. I just said, I apologize for writing the letter. I wasn't thinking about it. I just sent it out very quickly. And in fact, it is true that I did try to recall the letter, about an hour after I sent it, the email. And I said, I'm very concerned and sensitive to this issue because I am a foreigner.
Yep.
I'm an immigrant. I'm biracial, and I'm black from the waist down, as people might know. And Anyways,
Did you feel the need to apologize? Or was it the pressure of them asking you to apologize? Because frankly, I think you should be able to ask questions. I've noted this trend in dialogue. If you're speaking about a controversial subject and you begin asking questions, immediately it's shut down, and people won't allow for the questioning of subjects.
Yeah, it's because the Goyim knows. The Goyim is those that are not, the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud, which is the basis of modern day Judaism. It's not based on the Torah. It's not based on the Old Testament. It's based on the Talmud. Calls all non-Jews Goyim, but the Goyim know. They know what's up, right? So when you ask questions, they don't want the cattle to get restless. They want the cattle to be calm and meek, right? And then not fighting back, not thinking, not questioning. So I think that's what's happening when you ask the question, like, hey, wait a minute, who really killed JFK? It's impossible that it was a single bullet, single bullet, right? It's impossible. We know it's impossible. We know we've been lied to. Or 9/11. Now, I'm not saying that those 19 Muslims were not involved. They obviously probably were. But who was behind them? Who was funding them? We know money came out of Dubai, but anybody could have put money in a Dubai bank and forwarded to these guys, right? FBI knew about these people in flight school, didn't do anything about it. I mean, we're being lied to. The official story is not. We know it's not true, but we can't put our finger exactly what exactly is wrong, right? What's wrong exactly? Like the war in Iraq, based on a lie. There was no weapons of mass destruction, right? So anyway. When people ask the question, they're usually shouted down. Oh, you're a homophobe, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're whatever it is, right? And it just sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, right? So I think people need to continue to ask the questions because the truth is out there.
Yes.
Right?
And are you actually going to be appealing being fired? Are you going to maybe open a case against the company for firing you for asking a question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking into it because I know there are some civil rights organizations that handle this, especially for religious people, religious discrimination, and I've contacted a couple of them. I'm waiting to hear back. My case is a little bit complicated. I don't really want to get into it in terms of the way the work was set up, but so I don't know if I'm governed by Polish law or American law or whatever. That's something that could be figured out by a competent lawyer. But I think there is potentially a case here, and I think it would be important to pursue. But what I really want to impress upon the Polish audience is that, look, open your eyes. This type of propaganda is being flooded into the country. Okay, it happened in the United States probably 5-6 years ago, and it's coming here now. Now, obviously, nobody in Poland takes gay marriage seriously. It doesn't make any sense. So I think you're fairly safe, but just the reaction of my coworkers, I worked on a team of 7 people. Only one person really expressed any kind of sympathy. One person he's a leftist. He really expressed not really anger, but yeah, you shouldn't have done that, man. Like that kind of thing. And everybody else was pretty quiet. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them for being weak. It's just that they need the job, right? People need the money. People need the job. I'm in maybe an more enviable position. I'm not rich, but I have other irons in the fire, so I'm able to do whatever I want to do. I took this job because I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to do it. And I need to work. I like to work, right? So I'm looking for work right now, or another project or whatever. So it's not that So that's that's what I'm saying. But you can see that. Don't be weak, okay? If you see evil out there, call it out. Don't be afraid to call it out in whatever way you can. I'm not saying you got to be a martyr. I'm not a martyr. I'm not a victim. Well, maybe I am a victim, but I'm not living like a victim. I'm moving forward, right? This is something that happened, and it's revealing. I think if you open your eyes, it's revealing that during Tolerance Week, there is no tolerance for people who disagree with the official policy, which is to promote LGBTQ, XYZ, BLT sandwich lifestyles. And it makes no sense at all. It really makes no sense. From a national standpoint, from a human standpoint, it makes no sense because sodomy equals death. I mean, right? If you're not procreating, your genes die. So sodomy equals death, all right? They used to say silence equals death during the HIV/AIDS thing. No, sodomy equals death. That's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, think about it. I mean, just be real. I know you get it. I know if you're watching this, you get it, okay? But if you take a layer back, and this is also the questioning thing, you know, the cattle or the sheep are starting to question, why? Why are they pushing this? Well, there's a couple of reasons I'll just put out there. One of them is, obviously, if you're gay or you're bisexual or you're whatever, you're a sodomite, you're not going to have kids. So if you don't have kids, you're not going to ask for a raise. You're not going to necessarily work harder for your kids, right? You have nothing to live for. And if you're a sodomite, how are you going to ask your boss for a raise when he just looks at you and says, go to the gay disco, man. We don't have any more money for you. Just go to the gay disco. You know, drink and whatever you do to make your sorrows go away, right? But if you're married, you have kids, you have a commitment, you want to take care of your family, you're motivated, right? You're more motivated in a different way. That's one thing. The other thing is, well, whatever. That's the main thing for that, right? It's making you weak, and you only have as many masters as you have vices. And if you have a vice like that, who's your daddy? Okay.
Holy Joe, thank you so much for chatting with us, and we wish you and your 6 kids, and hopefully you make a number 7 in God's time. Thank
Factory's
you
still
for
open.
chatting with us today.
Pleasure.
And good luck.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Ride for ruin.
So I hope you liked that interview. It's real deal happening. If you'd like to support this channel, please look at the links below. But you can go to paypal.me/HJRR. We're in more than just a spiritual battle. We are in a legal battle to fight these globalist corporations that you can see. This is just not a anecdotal example, but a real example of a person's life that they're attempting to destroy for people simply asking the question. So please support this channel. Thank you for your continued support. And remember to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.